Have you ever been in a meeting at work and then their discussions are ongoing and then somebody says something or the particular thing they're discussing, you have like an idea, you have a contribution to make, and it comes to you and then you're excited. I know this, I can really add value, I can say what I want to say, and then you want to raise up your hand and then something tells you, that voice in your head says don't do it, and then the conflict begins between your heart, your head, your mouth, your body. Each one is speaking its own language. This one is trying to protect you, this one is saying you can do it, and you're hearing I can't do it, maybe I can't. And then time passes, people make their contributions, and then you're just there invisible, the meeting finishes and you're filled with regrets. Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you about how to overcome the fear of speaking up in meetings or at presentations. So, like I was saying earlier, a lot of us are filled with regrets. You leave that meeting and you're really feeling like, why? I should have spoken. It has happened to me so many times. I can tell you that for free, I would share. I share it, unashamedly, because I'm no more that person. But there was a time that I could sit in a place and meeting after meeting, and I would tell myself, okay, the next meeting I will say this, and as the meeting is going on, okay, you're going to talk, okay, put up your hand, and then I will never do it, and the meeting will be over. And the worst case is that there is situation. I remember one particular time, I just whispered to the person next to me, but the person just put up their hand. And the same thing I just told her was exactly what she just said. I'm like, really? And of course, if like they want to say, okay, we're forming a committee, or they will just pick her and say, oh, this person is the one that gave that idea. Can you even drive that? And you that has the idea, you get left behind. And so this is why it's very important to learn how to communicate. And you see, it is the fear of speaking up in meetings or speaking up in public, and all of that is called social anxiety. Social anxiety, and it comes from because we're afraid of being judged. We don't want to be judged. We're afraid of, and of course, it's understandable because human beings are social creatures. We're created to be social. We're created to interact. We're created to relate with people. So it matters to us. Don't mind. People will say, I don't care what they think about me. You care. You care. That's why you're not talking. You care. And it affects, that some people are, sometimes we think it only affects introverts, but it doesn't only affect introverts. Some people are quiet, and so it affects them by nature, but some people, if you meet them one-on-one, like in a small group of their friends, they're like the life of the party. But when it comes to a formal setting, social anxiety steps in. So today I'm going to give you certain tips that would help you to overcome and to deal with social anxiety so that you can speak up confidently, coherently, and effectively, communicate effectively at meetings or presentations. So the first thing you need to do is to look inward. What are the thoughts that go through your mind when that is happening? When you want to talk, what are the thoughts? Are they thoughts of like, they're going to laugh at you? Your idea is not really good. What are the thoughts that are going through your mind? Because when you're able to identify the thoughts and really pinpoint them, you're able to now know how to handle them. Because some of them, it may be fear of being judged because maybe as a child or in another meeting before then, you had tried to speak up and it didn't go very well. So maybe what you said, because you're not a very confident person, so you were not really speaking. And that happened to me a lot. But I learned how to do it afraid. So you now think back of the last time you tried and then how it didn't go well, or maybe somebody said something nasty and you magnify that thing in your mind and you just assume that you're just a workplace disaster, you're a social disaster. If you even try to speak. I remember somebody telling someone that every time you open your mouth, the wrong thing comes out. So you can imagine someone telling you that. It's most likely going to affect you if you're trying to communicate or trying to speak up at meetings. So go inward, check what it is. And then the number 2 thing again is that some of us are too conscious, self-conscious, and we always think that people are thinking about us. We think they're invested, they're going to be looking at me, they're going to see, they're going to be judging how I, and the truth is that most people are too busy with their lives to be thinking about you all the time. And so once you now find out what it is, ask yourself, are these thoughts valid? Is it possible that people are just in that meeting to get you? They're not even interested in themselves, they're just they're waiting for you to make a mistake. It's likely not. Yes, I know sometimes we come across difficult people in the workplace, but to tell you the truth that is not very likely. So once you've identified that, one thing you need to do is to begin to create affirmations around those thoughts. Now, there's an interesting research I heard somebody refer to recently, and she said there's this study that showed that negative thoughts are 4 to 7 times more powerful than positive thoughts. But positive words are 10 times more powerful than negative words, or not even speaking at all. So that means there's power in words. You know what they say about if you tell yourself a lie long enough, you're going to believe it. If you keep affirming it to yourself, you say it, and you just don't say it for saying sake. You say things like, I'm a confident person, I speak well at meetings, I contribute value. My colleagues are always eager to hear from me. Just create affirmations of the things that you want to see. Keep saying it when you're going for the meeting. Keep saying it to yourself until your subconscious mind begins to take it in and begins to push out all those other negative and disempowering thoughts. Another thing you could do is to focus on, when you're in the meeting sometimes and you want to speak, you begin to focus on yourself, and you even lose touch with what is going on in the meeting, because that battle is going on in your mind. And there's this thing they say, where focus goes, energy flows and results show. So shift your focus to the people that are talking. Be in the room, be present with them. Listen to what they're saying. That way you're not focusing on, you're not now trying to convince yourself why you shouldn't talk, because you're, fully invested in listening to others. And of course, it makes it easier for you to contribute, because you're now flowing more with the meeting and it's easier for you to contribute. Then work on your self-esteem. And to do that, I'm going to do a whole video about that, but one thing I'll say is I'm working on your self-esteem. Because possibly you're struggling with a low self-esteem, a low self-image. And one of the things you can do to address that is to think or remind yourself of your wins. What are the things that you have done? I was able to do this. I did this one. And I did that. So celebrate yourself. Tell yourself how phenomenal you are, how awesome you are, and all of that. When you find yourself talking down on yourself, appreciate yourself. Value the same way you place premium on people that you honor, people that you respect. You're kind to other people. Be kind to yourself. Respect yourself. Just see yourself as somebody that has value. Then the next thing you want to do is to breathe. Just take what happens oftentimes when you want to speak, that happens to me, is that you cease to breathe in that kind of situation. It's like your breath is going. It's like you're just So what you can do is just relax, take a deep breath in and then breathe out. That helps to relax you. That helps to tell your body system that you're not in panic mode, you're not in danger, you're safe, and that way it's easier for you to speak when you need to speak. And then be prepared for the meeting. What is the subject matter? What are the things going to be discussed? Try and know. In fact, you may need to talk. What they said about the meeting before the meeting. Some key people that may be there, you could want to talk to them, sound people out. What do you think about this? And so you just get a feel of what is going to happen in that meeting, and you show up more confidently and all of that. And then, start by asking questions. So if you still feel you're not ready, you could, instead of trying to make a contribution or add something to the conversation, just ask a question. Somebody said something, just commend them. Oh, that was nice. So can you just explain this a little bit more to me? So, by the time you ask a question, meeting one, the next meeting you ask a question, you're beginning to gain confidence to speak. And then when you now want to begin to make contributions, focus on one thing to start with. Don't like have like a long, you may have so many things, but because you're still like trying to find your way around speaking up at meetings, don't put in too many things that you want to say. Contribute one thing, maybe the most important thing, and be very concise, be clear, be coherent, speak what you want to say and let it be. And finally, what I would say is that do it afraid. Do it afraid. A lot of people feel the fear and still do it. If you're waiting not to be afraid, then you may never end up doing what you need to do. But I remember when I started speaking out, there were times I fumbled, there are times I made mistakes, there are times people laughed at me, but look at me today. And if I can do it, you can do. I always tell people, I can speak confidently at meetings, I can make presentations, I can teach, I can do all of that, then I guarantee you that you can if you put in the work. Thank you once again. If this video has been helpful, remember to share with someone that will find it helpful. Also, click on the like button. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly do so. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you and bye-bye.